Hey everybody, today we're going to learn how to oil your Chainstitch Embroidery Machine. This will apply to Singer, Cornelli, Conso, whatever you got. So we're just going to start off by doing a little stitch sample here. It's a brand new machine and I'm just breaking it in, so I've already oiled it quite a bit, but when I get a new machine or I rebuild a machine, I like to oil moderate to heavily just to get all the parts to gel together. These are fairly light duty machines, so I suggest just using regular sewing machine oil. You can get this from most sewing machine part suppliers. I believe Walmart sells it, some hardware store sells it. It's just a mineral oil, but the Zoom Spout bottle is really heavy. I actually spilled quite a bit there. This is a brand new bottle, so just wipe down the excess. So I start by oiling the dishes that hold the springs for the needle and foot. Then I'm oiling behind the needle bar lifting arm and in front. I'll oil where the needle bar holder meets the lifting arm and then where it goes into the central tube. Basically, you can just follow along with everywhere that I'm oiling, and if you aren't sure about what part of your machine might need, just a single drop of oil is usually enough. You can just rotate the handle underneath and run the machine with the motor power and see where any two moving parts touch, and that's sort of your general principle of where you want to oil the machine. Just a drop in every spot. I like to rotate the hand wheel in case some parts are only accessible at certain times in the main shaft timing. And then once I oil an assembly, I will run the machine for just a hot second to get that oil to heat up and get into all the little bits. So here's a shot of the back of the face. You can see that I'm just oiling some other parts of the foot lifter spring assembly and that whole bit. I'll just move the foot lifter up and down so that I can make sure I'm getting all the parts. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's fun to take care of your machines. I don't know. For me, just like a little bit of preventative maintenance is enjoyable. It's cathartic. So these are your bell cranks, and you want to get a drop of oil onto the pins that hold them in place. I didn't do a great job on that particular one, but you'll get it. This is the front bell crank on the machine. This one lifts the foot up and down. Again, you just want a little bit of oil to saturate that pin. And now we're going to go inside the machine. I'll take my hook knife off and remove the body plate. You can see inside here. So you've got the top main shaft that runs from the hand wheel to the face, and then you've got that lower steering column. And I will oil, again, any part that is moving and touches another part. So where the two stop collars meet the body casting, where the shafts run through the body casting, where the gears touch. Your machine probably has a couple of oil ports on top. You can get those too. Get that friggin' thing out of the way. I don't have a chair in this video. I'm just kneeling, so I have to operate the motor Pitman rod, whatever armature with one hand and steer with the other, so it's a little awkward. So again, yeah, I just throw a couple of drops of oil onto any moving parts, and then I'll run the machine for a few seconds to get everything to gel together, and if I need to apply another drop of oil, I'll do it then. So now we can put the body plate back on the machine, and I'll rotate the handle underneath the machine to the 12 o'clock position, which allows me to rock the machine back on its hinges. So I usually oil assembly by assembly. I call this part the knuckle. And again, just anywhere two moving parts touch. Where the worm gear operating rod goes through the castings, I'll oil there. Where the gears touch the castings, where the gears meet. Again, any two moving parts or that touch or where a moving part is touching a casting. Just a light drop of oil on the worm gear. There's a little nook in the looper box that you can throw a drop of oil into. Just get everything good and lubed up. And now we'll just drop the machine back down on its hinges. And usually after you've done this for a while, if the machine was threaded, you're going to drop the thread. It's just going to fall off the needle. So that's what happened here. Pretty much to be expected. So now the machine's just, I'm just going to run it in for 90 seconds or so. I would suggest oiling your machine every time you use it before you use it. I did a pretty heavy oil on this go around. You can probably get away with doing quite a bit less. Just some oil in the oil ports on the body casting, and then at the top of the face and some underneath as well. And then yeah, I'll just run the machine, do a test. This is a good time to calibrate your machine. So if you're using a new thread or a new material, or you're changing from chain stitch to moss stitch, this is a great time to just get your machine calibrated for the workpiece that you're doing, while also maintaining it with a nice fresh coat of oil. This machine runs pretty well. It's enjoyable to use. So once I feel that I have run the machine in adequately, I will give it a wipe down with paper towel, cloth rag, whatever you like to use. A lot of the oil is just going to move down to the bottom surfaces of the machine. It's called gravity. Look it up. So this is all oil that came off the machine, stuff that could stain your project. So just give it a wipe down after you run it in for a minute.